that's enough to get started. So in today's talk, I'm going to be speaking about gratitude or being thankful. And there's so much research in today's world that goes to prove scientifically how impactful and beneficial gratitude can be in our day-to-day lives. And so that's what I'm going to speak about. And at the end, I'm going to offer another short meditation session, this time with gratitude as the focus. And as so many of us benefited from the last meditation session, and many of you said that, oh, 5 minutes whizzed by and felt very quick, I'm going to increase it just a little bit, increase the threshold to 7 minutes. And we're going to just focus on gratitude, that the main body of the meditation, once we relax and get still and comfortable, will be bringing more gratitude in our life through a meditation. And throughout the talk, I'm going to be sharing some quotes to help, find gratitude and bring it into our life. And the first of those is, be grateful for the little things, for one day you may look back and realize they were the big things. And that's by Robert Brault. And that's why we should be grateful for everything in our life, because we may look back, or things that we weren't grateful for that we've lost, these things we can't get them back. So that's why it's a good thing to practice gratitude daily, because we don't know what's going to come in the future. And as well as a meditation practice at the end of this session, there's many ways that we can practice gratitude. I'm going to share of those with you. And unless you're living a really terrible existence, it shouldn't be too difficult to find 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 things to be grateful for. And I'm sure just by me saying grateful and speaking, a few things have jumped into your mind that you're really grateful for. And without too much contemplation, when I say what you're grateful for, a few things jump to mind, and these will be very helpful in the meditation. So keep those in mind. And so the first and most impactful way to practice gratitude, and if you really want to take this seriously, would be to have a gratitude journal. And it's very simple technique. You'd wake up in the morning or throughout the day, you can go to your journal and just write what you're grateful for. And a lot of these things, just like the 6 points of focus I shared the other day, these things are very practical and very simple, but if we bring them into our lives and use them, they can be so beneficial. So a gratitude journal, you wake up and the first thing you do is you write what you're grateful for today, and you can even reference back and look back at your previous entries. And yeah, just review and read it. And if you're feeling a bit down during the day, or at any time you need to be picked up and you have your mood changed, you could get your gratitude journal, or you can just think about what you're grateful for. And I've got another quote for you: start each day with a positive thought and a grateful heart. And again, that's a very simple, pithy quote from Roy Bennett. And I think that it's just very simple, these things. And by focusing on what we're grateful for rather than what we lack or don't have in our lives, just by changing that focus, is a very simple thing to do. And by changing that focus, you can lift your mood and bring some happiness into your life. So things that we can be grateful for, they can range from the very general, like you can just be grateful for your life, that you've woken up, and they can go down to the very particular. And there's no rules in what you're grateful for. So they can go from the general, I'm grateful for my life and for breathing, and they can be very particular. You can say, oh, I'm very grateful for the woman in the red car who let me out when it was raining and very busy. She made me happy and I got home much quicker because she let me out. I was having trouble getting out of the junction. So your gratitude journal and things you're grateful for, again, there's no rules. You can go from one thing, the most general, to the most particular, and anywhere in between. And so I've got a list here for you, just some things that you can be grateful for, just to bring into your minds. And they are good health, your home, your friends and family, money in the bank, the opportunity to learn from your mistakes, a blue sky, the sunshine, books to read, the fresh air, a comfortable bed, time, clean water, and to have woken up and to be alive. And there's many things that I'm sure come to mind when I say these things, and I say the word grateful, and you could probably dig out a lot more if you spent a few moments of silent meditation, just sitting there thinking, what am I grateful for? A few more things would come to mind. And it's a very good thing to keep in mind when you're practicing your gratitude that many people across the world, they may not have these things. So what you might overlook for another person, that could be something that they only dream of having. So that's a very good thing to keep in mind as well, in that we're very lucky and blessed in our situation. And yeah, many people across the world don't have access to the things that we may take for granted. And here's another quote for you. It says, being grateful turns what we have into enough. So rather than focusing on what we lack, by focusing on what we have in our lives and the things we can be grateful for, it becomes enough. We find what we have is really special and really important. And if you struggle with the concept of gratitude, I've got its antithesis here, something that you could practice. Again, it's not really recommended. You're better off being grateful. But if being grateful doesn't sit with you, you can try anti-gratitude, and that's to contemplate all the things, all the terrible things that haven't happened for you. You're not living in a war zone. You don't have a terrible disease. You have clean water, and you don't have to walk 10 miles to get a jug of water. And if you go deeply into this contemplation, this isn't what I'm going to share this evening because we need to take this on off our own backs. But if you go deep into the contemplation of terrible things that haven't happened, and imagine there's people all over the world that these things have happened to, you'll very quickly wish that you could come back to your own life, and you'll be very grateful that you're there. So this is a practice that you can try if you want to increase your gratitude by going deep into the darkness of life, if you like. By coming back to your own life, it will make you very grateful and happy to be back and not stuck there. So by finding things in our daily life, taking a moment in the morning to be grateful, taking a moment throughout the day whenever we remember, if we're finding ourselves a bit down and depressed and focusing on lack, we can just change our focus and our attitude, find something to be grateful for, and that will bring a smile to our face and some happiness into our hearts. And so this is a perfect practice that you can do if you're ever feeling down and depressed. Just turn away from the bad things and focus on the good things, and that will bring it into your life. By remembering it, it almost comes back into your life. And so to have our health and our friends and our hobbies and our freedom to pursue them, and the very fact that we woke up this morning, and many people didn't have that, that great blessing to have woke up and have another day to live. These are all many things that we should be grateful for. And so with that being said, I hope I've portrayed the importance and the simplicity of how powerful being grateful can be, and just turning our attention from the lack to the wealth of what we have, we can easily bring more happiness and more subjective well-being into our life. And so I think with that being said,